Today, I'm going to talk about webinars. Now, you might get nervous when you hear the idea of a webinar. You think about the tech and the logistics, but what if I could convince you that actually having a webinar funnel in your business could double or triple your revenue? I'm Julie from Funnel Gorgeous. Let's dive in. So let's first start with this. A webinar funnel can actually take on many different forms. Now, a lot of you might think of the traditional webinar funnel where you have a registration page, and then there's a timer, and then there's this big live presentation, and then there's an offer at the end. But webinar is sort of a big word to say a video presentation. So webinars can be live, webinars can be recorded, webinars can be called masterclasses, they can be called workshops, they even can be called information sessions. All you need to do is decide whether you want to do something live with a live audience or if you want to do something recorded. The good news is that both live and recorded webinar presentations can make you money. So let me paint a little bit of a picture here. Without a webinar, you are the person doing all the selling, right? Maybe you have a sales page, maybe you talk on a podcast, maybe you talk one-on-one with sales calls, but a webinar is basically a salesperson working on your behalf. So when it's recorded, whether you're doing it as a workshop, a masterclass, an info session, that presentation is doing the selling for you. What does that mean? It means it buys back some of your time. So here's how a webinar would work in the real world, even if you didn't want to run ads to it. Let's say you got invited onto a podcast. You speak on that podcast, and now at the end of the podcast, the person who's interviewing you would say, where can they go to learn more? Well, instead of sending them somewhere where you actually have to do the selling, a sales call, an email, you send them simply to a registration page where they can learn more. Good webinar presentations can do all the selling for you. Here's another reason why I think webinar funnels specifically are so valuable in a business. In most businesses, we have funnels that collect lead information, right? Name and email. And then we have launches and offers that take money. Well, the nice thing about a webinar funnel is it acts as a lead magnet and as a selling mechanism. So it's doing two jobs in one. So if you have a free PDF, that's awesome, you get the lead, but you still have to sell them. With a webinar funnel, no matter what kind it is, you are collecting the lead, so you don't have to give away anything free, because what's free is your presentation, and that presentation is what gets them to buy. Now, some people might feel a little slimy about webinar funnels. They don't know how to sell, they're not very good at sales. That's okay. In fact, a lot of our students and clients are now using something that's just like a webinar, but it's an info session. Here, you don't have to use any fancy tactics. You don't have to use any sort of NLP or buyer psychology. All you do in an info session is give them information about your program. So if people are interested, they register for the info session, they sign up, and then they watch, and then they decide if they buy. There's no bait and switch, and it has been working well. Super, super well. Now, if you are still on the fence about a webinar funnel because you're worried about the tech, honestly, the easiest type of funnel to do is the recorded one where you have just a registration page. You put a really good, curious hook or headline, get the lead information, and on the next page is a video just embedded. And then underneath the video, maybe you want to put some testimonials or a button to your offer. That's it, you guys. There doesn't need to be any crazy timers. There doesn't need to be any fancy tech. You do not even need a software other than a simple landing page software. Now, we run FG Funnels, which can handle any kind of webinar you're thinking, and it will do the selling for you. So you're on Instagram, you're doing an Insta story promo. At the end of it, you say, hey guys, make sure to check out my free class on X. They go to the link in your bio, they watch that free class, and then they purchase. Webinar funnels, any type, are great for products that are $300 or more. Because most cold traffic won't just plunk down $3, $5, $1,000 without speaking to someone, the webinar acts as that salesperson. So if you love this content, please subscribe to our channel, hit like, leave us a comment, and if you are thinking about doing a webinar funnel, webinargorgeous.com is our program that teaches you how to build a really awesome webinar presentation. Appreciate you all. Talk to you soon.